the hip-hop world just hit a seismic level of chaos that no one saw coming. We've seen beefs, we've seen diss tracks, and we've seen social media meltdowns, but a DNA scandal involving one of the industry's most prominent families? That is a different kind of heavy. 50 Cent, the undisputed king of digital instigation, has just dropped a nuclear claim that is sending shockwaves through Atlanta and beyond. According to the G-Unit mogul, DNA results have surfaced proving that King Harris, the outspoken and often controversial son of T.I., is not actually Tip's biological child. This isn't just another internet rumor lost in the comments section. This is a claim that strikes at the very heart of the Harris family legacy. For years, we've watched King Harris navigate his own path, often clashing with his father's expeditiously wisdom and polished image. But if 50's claims hold even a grain of truth, the Prince of the South narrative just got completely rewritten. The fallout was immediate. Sources close to the Grand Hustle camp are whispering that T.I. is beyond devastated, allegedly looking into divorce papers as the ultimate betrayal by Tiny comes into focus. Imagine the weight of this. Decades of marriage, a reality TV empire built on family values, and a public persona centered around being a family-first patriarch, all potentially built on a foundation of secrets. Is 50 Cent just doing what he does best, stirring the pot to watch the world burn? Or has he actually unearthed a secret that the Harris family has been hiding for nearly 2 decades? Stay tuned, because we are diving deep into the evidence, the history of the tension between King and Tip, and exactly why 50 Cent decided to be the one to pull the trigger on this massive revelation. The King of the South's throne is shaking, and the heir to the throne might just be an outsider. Let's get into the details. In the high-stakes world of hip-hop, information is often more lethal than any diss track, and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson has mastered the art of information warfare. While the industry is used to his relentless trolling and social media antics, his latest claim has sent a shockwave through the culture that feels different, more personal and potentially more destructive. The bombshell? 50 Cent alleges that DNA evidence has surfaced proving King Harris is not the biological son of Clifford T.I. Harris. This isn't just a jab at a rival. It is a direct assault on the foundation of one of Atlanta's most respected musical dynasties. To understand the gravity of this claim, we have to look at the messenger. 50 Cent doesn't just throw stones. He aimed for the glass houses of his enemies with surgical precision. For years, the tension between the G-Unit leader and the King of the South has simmered under the surface, but by involving T.I.'s family and the legitimacy of his heir, 50 Cent has crossed a line that rarely gets touched. He claims to have gained access to leaked medical records or internal communications that confirm a long-standing suspicion within the Harris circle. According to 50's narrative, the Prince of the South is an outsider to the throne he was born to inherit. The timing of this revelation couldn't be more volatile. For the past year, the public has watched with a mixture of confusion and concern as King Harris navigated a very public identity crisis. We've seen the viral videos of King shouting at his father, claiming his street status was earned despite his father's wealth, and even getting into physical altercations with his parents on livestream. While many fans dismiss this as a young man trying to find his own voice outside of his father's shadow, 50 Cent's claim suggests a much darker route for this rebellion. The suggestion is that King's internal struggle stems from a subconscious, or perhaps whispered truth that he never truly fit the Harris mold because he wasn't part of the bloodline. The internet, never one to wait for a formal statement, immediately began a digital autopsy of the Harris family. Side-by-side photos of T.I. and King at various ages flooded social media, with amateur detectives pointing out differences in facial structure, temperament, and even speech patterns. People began to question why T.I.'s other children, like Domani or Messiah, seemed to naturally carry their father's calm, intellectual, and strategic energy, while King has always been a firebrand of raw, uncalculated emotion. 50 Cent capitalized on this public doubt, framing King's behavior not as teenage angst, but as a biological glitch in the Harris legacy. But how did we get here? Rumors from within the Grand Hustle camp suggest that the DNA test wasn't 50 Cent's idea, but a result of a heated family mediation session. Sources whisper that during one of King's many outbursts, the question of, "Who do you think you're talking to?" was met with a retort that forced T.I. to seek scientific clarity. If these reports are true, T.I. didn't just find out from 50 Cent. 50 Cent found out because the truth became too big for the Harris household to contain. The silence from T.I.'s usually vocal camp has been deafening. Normally, Tip would be on Instagram within minutes, using a dictionary's worth of vocabulary to dismantle a rumor. His current silence is being interpreted by many as the stunned quiet of a man processing a life-altering betrayal. This revelation strikes at the very core of T.I.'s expeditiously brand. He has built a second career as a mentor, a philosopher of the streets, and a patriarch who values logic and lineage above all else. If King is not his son, T.I. isn't just a father who was lied to. He is a man whose entire public persona of being in control and all-knowing has been compromised. For a man who prides himself on his intellect, being deceived about the paternity of a child for nearly 2 decades is a psychological blow that is hard to calculate. As the news broke, the focus quickly shifted from the father-son dynamic to the marriage at the center of it all. If King isn't T.I.'s son, the focus shifts squarely onto Tamika "Tiny" Harris. Tiny has been T.I.'s ride or die through prison bids, legal battles, and countless rumors of infidelity. However, a secret of this magnitude, a child born from an outside encounter and raised as the heir to the Harris throne, would be the ultimate get-out clause for T.I. This is where the story turns from a celebrity gossip piece into a tragic family collapse. 50 Cent isn't just watching from the sidelines. He's fueling the fire by suggesting that this is only the tip of the iceberg. He has hinted that there are more secrets within the Harris household that will make the DNA scandal look like minor news. While many accuse 50 of being petty or obsessed, his involvement ensures that this story won't be swept under the rug. It forces a level of transparency that the Harris family likely wasn't ready for. The fallout from leaves us with a family in total disarray. The public image of the first family of Atlanta has been shattered, and the prince is facing a crisis of identity that could change his life forever. But as the shock of the DNA claim begins to settle, a new and even more high-stakes drama is emerging. The legal and emotional war between T.I. and Tiny. If the trust is gone, then the empire is next. The flow of this narrative now leads us directly into the bedroom and the boardroom. With the paternity in question, T.I. is reportedly no longer looking for apologies. He is looking for an exit. The marriage that survived everything else might finally meet its end over a secret that was 20 years in the making. Moving from the public shockwave created by 50 Cent's claims, we enter the most private and painful chapter of the saga: the collapse of the bond between T.I. and Tamika "Tiny" Harris. If the DNA results mentioned by 50 Cent are indeed accurate, this isn't just a blow to T.I.'s pride. It is a total betrayal of a marriage that has been marketed as the ultimate ride-or-die partnership. For over 2 decades, Tiny has stood by Tip through every trial and tribulation, but a secret of this magnitude, a child born from an outside encounter and raised as the heir to the Harris throne, is a breach of trust that no amount of family hustle branding can fix. The atmosphere within the Harris estate is reportedly cold and legalistic. Sources close to the family suggest that T.I. has virtually retreated from his shared life with Tiny, spending his time behind the closed doors of his studio and consulting with a high-level legal team. The rumors of an impending divorce are no longer just whispers. They are becoming a roar. For a man like T.I., who views himself as a master strategist and a protector of his legacy, the idea that he was played regarding his own son's biological identity is an unbearable ego bruise. It's reported that he has demanded a second, independent DNA test, performed under the watchful eyes of his own representatives, to confirm or debunk 50's claims once and for all. Tiny, on the other hand, is reportedly in a state of high-alert defense. While she has publicly maintained that her family is her biggest flex, the pressure of 50 Cent's relentless trolling and the sudden distance from her husband is clearly taking its toll. Insiders claim she has called these allegations a malicious fabrication designed to dismantle everything they've built. However, the legal reality is setting in. If T.I. moves forward with a divorce filing based on paternity fraud or long-term deception, the financial implications are staggering. We are talking about the division of a massive business empire, including music publishing, real estate, and reality TV residuals that are worth tens of millions of dollars. The impact on the children is the most tragic part of this unfolding crisis. King Harris, the young man at the center of the storm, is reportedly spiraling. Whether he is T.I.'s biological son or not, he has been raised with the weight of that name. To have that identity questioned by a global superstar like 50 Cent, while his parents' marriage crumbles in the background, has created a volatile situation. This explains King's increasingly aggressive social media presence. It's the defensive reflex of a young man whose world is being pulled out from under him. He's not just fighting 50 Cent. He's fighting for his right to exist as a Harris. Moreover, the divorce narrative has opened up old wounds. People are looking back at 2016 and 2017 when Tiny first filed for divorce, citing infidelity and irreconcilable differences. Back then, they managed to reconcile and present a unified front. But this time, the stakes are different. Infidelity is one thing, but a secret son scenario changes the entire lineage of the family. If T.I. feels that his legacy has been built on a lie, there is no coming back from that. The legal chatter suggests that Tip is looking for an annulment-style exit, one that separates his assets from the betrayal as cleanly as possible. As the industry watches, the first family of Atlanta is proving to be human after all. The cameras that once captured their family dinners and vacations are now replaced by the prying eyes of the internet, waiting for the first legal document to be leaked. The trust is gone, and in a partnership where loyalty was the primary currency, its bankruptcy means the end of an era. The flow of the story now shifts toward the final fallout. How this ends for King, the Harris name, and whether 50 Cent has successfully dismantled a dynasty. As the dust begins to settle on the initial explosion caused by 50 Cent's claims, the focus shifts to the long-term wreckage left in the wake of this scandal. Regardless of whether a definitive, court-verified DNA test is ever released to the public, the Harris brand, once the gold standard for hip-hop family royalty, has been forever altered. If T.I. moves forward with the divorce, we aren't just witnessing the end of a marriage. We are witnessing the dismantling of a multi-million-dollar cultural institution that was built on the image of a unified, unbreakable black family. The most tragic figure in this entire saga is undoubtedly King Harris. For 20 years, this young man has navigated the world with the absolute certainty that he was the Prince of the South. Every move he made, every song he recorded, and every social media rant he engaged in was backed by the weight of the Harris name. 50 Cent's claim strikes at the very core of King's identity. If it is proven that T.I. is not his biological father, King faces a crisis that transcends celebrity gossip. It becomes a total erasure of his sense of self. We've already seen King's behavior become increasingly volatile, which many psychologists would suggest is a defensive reaction to his world being pulled out from under him. Without the Harris bloodline, he is no longer an heir to a throne. He becomes an outsider in the very kingdom he was raised to lead. On the other side of this tragedy stands Clifford T.I. Harris. For a man who has branded himself as a master of logic, a philosopher of the streets, and a patriarch who values lineage above all else, this is the ultimate humiliation. T.I. has built a career on being the king, who is always 3 steps ahead of his enemies. To be told that he was deceived within his own home for 2 decades is a blow to his ego that even his legendary vocabulary cannot repair. Sources close to the Grand Hustle camp suggest that T.I. isn't just looking for an emotional exit. He is preparing for a legal war. If paternity fraud can be proven, the divorce proceedings will turn into a battle for restitution. Tip may seek to reclaim assets or challenge financial support structures that were based on the assumption of a biological connection. This wouldn't just be a divorce, it would be a total financial audit of a 20-year marriage. We also have to analyze the strategic brilliance and the sheer ruthlessness of 50 Cent. Curtis Jackson does not engage in petty behavior without a calculated goal. By dropping this bomb, he didn't just hurt T.I., he dismantled T.I.'s most valuable asset, his reputation as a wise leader. 50 has successfully turned the family hustle into a family fraud in the eyes of millions. He knew that the tension between King and Tip was already at a breaking point, and he used the DNA claim as the final spark to burn the house down. This is psychological warfare at its highest level, proving that in the age of social media, you don't need a diss track to destroy an enemy, you just need a devastating secret. For Tamika "Tiny" Harris, the path forward is shrouded in darkness. She has been the ride-or-die wife through T.I.'s prison sentences and various legal battles. However, if these allegations are true, the loyalty she preached becomes a hollow sentiment. A secret of this magnitude, bringing a child from another man into a marriage and passing him off as the husband's heir, is the one thing a man like T.I. can never forgive. Tiny now finds herself fighting a war on two fronts, trying to save her marriage while also trying to protect her son from a truth that could destroy him. The public perception of her has shifted from a supportive wife to a woman whose past has finally caught up with her, threatening to take down the entire empire she helped build. The industry's reaction has been a mix of shock and morbid curiosity. Atlanta, a city that prides itself on its tight-knit music community, is watching its royalty crumble. Grand Hustle, the label and management company that once dominated the charts, is now overshadowed by legal filings and DNA rumors. The King of the South title feels heavier than ever, as Tip realizes that a throne built on a shaky foundation cannot stand. The silence coming from other prominent Atlanta artists is a sign of how uncomfortable this situation has made the community. No one wants to take sides in a war that involves a child's identity and a marriage's collapse. As we look toward the future, the legacy of T.I. and Tiny will likely be divided into two eras, before the DNA and after. The family hustle era, characterized by unity and success, is over. The after era will likely be defined by court dates, asset division, and a family trying to heal in the harsh glare of the public eye. King Harris will have to decide if he wants to continue trying to live up to a name that may not be his, or if he will find the strength to build an identity as an individual, separate from the Prince persona. In the final analysis, 50 Cent may have won the war without firing a single shot. He has proven that the most powerful weapon in hip-hop isn't a gun or a contract. It's the truth, or even the persistent doubt of it. As T.I. retreats into his legal strategy and Tiny attempts to hold the fragments of her family together, the world watches the final credits roll on one of the most famous families in music. The dynasty has fallen, and the crown is lying in the dust. The King of the South is now a man alone, facing a future where his name is the only thing he has left to protect. This story is far from over, and we want to hear your take on this bombshell. Do you think 50 Cent has finally gone too far by involving T.I.'s family? Or is the truth something that needed to come out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe the DNA claims? Or is this just a masterclass in trolling? If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you never miss an update on the biggest stories in hip-hop. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news and analysis. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.